So, yesterday, we had ourselves the news that Matt Rempe of the New York Rangers would be receiving an in-person hearing, quotes, via Zoom. Yeah, in-person hearing via Zoom, that's the new thing, right? Because they can't get players out to Toronto all the time. But an in-person hearing was in store from yesterday's news. The hearing took place today, and because it was via Zoom and not via a phone call, there was the opportunity for Matt Rempe to get suspended longer than, I believe it was 5 games, 5 or 6, something like that. And just about an hour ago, we had ourselves the verdict. New York Rangers forward Matt Rempe has been suspended for 8 games for boarding and elbowing Dallas's Miro Heiskanen. And you can see all the replies. It's definitely going to be civil here. Will he hit double-digit ejections before he hits double-digit points? How does it work if he gets sent down before serving his 8 games? Should have been 10, but somehow this feels like it's not a complete fumble by the NHL. Wasn't as bad as Reeves hit on Nurse, I can't see 8. Said it last year, the league wants him out of the NHL. They hated Rempe Mania and focus on fighting those couple of months the last year. No doubt if he gets suspended again, it's 40. He hasn't learned, so it's on him. But the NHL is so selective and hypocritical. A lot of people going out there and voicing their opinions in this reply section, and if you go over to the video on the NHL's website, you can see the hit as well. Let's just skim through this. We don't need to get into a full analysis on everything because we did talk about it yesterday. Yeah, I mean, Heiskanen dumps the puck out. Rempe is coming in. Let's move the thing over here a little bit more. And Rempe glides into Heiskanen. He brings his elbow up. It's to the back of the neck, back of the head area. Fully presses Heiskanen into the boards. Very bad hit, very avoidable hit, very ugly hit, and a hit that doesn't belong in the sport of hockey. Maybe it did 40 years ago. Maybe when the 80s and the bullies were going out there and doing their thing, you had guys whose roles in the National Hockey League were strictly bound to just being physical forces, not really scoring points, not doing anything like that. Look at that. Rempe leaves the ice. He jumps into Heiskanen. What in the world? The CBA says here that players who repeatedly violate league playing rules shall be more severely punished for each new violation, and Matt Rempe happens to be a repeat offender. Boarding and elbowing is the call, and thus his suspension is going on for 8 games. That's the verdict here. Now, I wanted to go out there and look at some of the other things here. He is considered a repeat offender and will forfeit $80,000 in salary for his 8-game suspension. And if you go over to his point production, I mean, look, he's got 0 points in 5 games this season. He had 17 penalty minutes in that game against the Stars on Friday and 5 minutes time on ice. His NHL career has been interesting, to say the least. 22 games played, 2 points, and he's got 95 penalty minutes in however many minutes he plays. It's never really a lot. He never gets a lot of minutes because we recognize the reason he is even playing in the National Hockey League today. I mean, 3 minutes in one game, 7 minutes in another. He had a season high of 9 minutes in an NHL game. What was his season high last year? Let's go out there and try to look at that. Okay, so he had some 10-minute games thrown in there, an 11-minute game against the St. Louis Blues. This is, of course, when he's not racking up 15 penalty minutes in a night. But Matt Rempe obviously has a certified role in the National Hockey League. It's not necessarily one that I think is all too valuable anymore, and with how careless he is as an NHL player, you can definitely understand why there are many people calling for his head and demanding that he gets taken out of the league. Let's go over to the R Hockey subreddit and read some of the replies and reaction from this over here. The dude's now been suspended for 26% of his NHL career, and it gets even worse if you factor in his past 4-game suspension. 22 games played, 12 games suspended. He's been suspended for 35% of his available games. These are the stats that I'm here for. The Rangers are also 3-0 against New Jersey when Rempe is in the lineup. Clearly, this means he needs to play more. Throw him into the top 6. The Rangers are also, interestingly enough, undefeated. They're 4-0 in games where Matt Rempe is ejected. That's kind of funny, honestly. He isn't even good. He skates like he has Uggs on. I don't think anybody was really going out there and expecting top-tier, world-class quality skating or mobility out of Rempe, but they are getting world-class physicality and body checks. Damn, that's really good for the Rangers. Maybe Capo Caco can get back in the lineup. That's funny. We're not going to go out there and dive too deep into that. I think a worse punishment would be forcing him to play 20-plus minutes for 8 games, and every penalty he takes sends someone else to the box, and he has to stay on the ice until the PK is over. That would be so weird. Come on, man. Like, our hockey fans are a little bit ridiculous at times. Hoping for 20-plus the next time he does something like this, because he will do this kind of stupid and dangerous crap again. I'm hoping we don't see him in the NHL again. The Rangers front office makes roster decisions like there is cardboard cutouts of Tom Wilson ragdolling Artyom Panarin surrounding them, so I doubt they'll start making smart decisions like prioritizing scoring goals and stuff over truculence and grit. That's a really funny comment. Honestly, like, there's been this idea, this identity that ever since the Tom Wilson crap happened a few years ago, they have to get all tough and rough and everything, which is why Matt Rempe's presence on the team is so consistent. They keep on bringing him up, they keep on giving him this opportunity, and he keeps on screwing it up by taking himself out of games and getting suspended. If the Rangers are dumb enough to roster him again, maybe they deserve whatever happens next. Not that I want anyone to get Steve Moored. I'm sorry, but this guy's a dirtbag that never needs to wear an NHL sweater again. Well, yeah, that's what they like about him. Let's go out there and read a few more things here. Good, screw him. How can you be like 12 years old and be a redundant relic from an era which doesn't exist anymore? This guy's a waster with no self-control. He doesn't even seem tough when he fights, or am I mistaken? Like, he's just a dirty player, not even an effective goon. Even Matt Cooke was at least a useful hockey player. Didn't expect the NHL Department of Player Safety to get it right. Actually shocked. I was gonna say, relative to other suspensions or fines, this doesn't fit the crime. But it is what it should be. Hope this is the new standard, and it's not just a one-off. Sometimes the wheel does get it right. And so I want you to let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about Matt Rempe and his overall situation here, his suspension from today's verdict, his hit on Miro Heiskanen. We had already spoken about this and more yesterday, and the video actually did get a pretty positive response. We had a lot of people in the comments section going out there and talking about the Rempe situation. So if you wanted to expand more upon that, that is your prerogative. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about Matt Rempe getting suspended for 8 games. He is one of the more, let's just say, questionable and polarizing figures in the National Hockey League, and my question to you is, does he have a future in this league? We'd been speaking about this yesterday, but you're never going to get any sort of sustainable point production out of this guy. He was never really a top-tier point producer in the dub, he wasn't really ever producing points in the AHL, even in the NHL, and it goes without saying in the National Hockey League, he wasn't really doing much there either. So, other than racking up the penalty minutes and taking guys' heads off, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about the profile and the career of Matt Rempe. What are your thoughts about him heading forward? Hope you enjoyed this video, and bye.